guys, it's a Proud Cat Lover, and today I'm going to be making a little video with my two youngest Crested Gecko hatchlings. This one here is Indigo, and she is an extreme, possibly an extreme tricolor or an extreme harlequin. I'm still kind of waiting to see if her patterns are going to go all cream, or if there is going to be some orange along with the cream that is in there. She also has a very nice crest for being such a little lady, because she is currently going to be 8 months old on the 5th of June, which is not that far away. So you can see she's pretty decent size. This here is her brother, Whisper, and of course he looks quite different than her. He is what's looking to be a blonde harlequin. As you can see, a lot of his pattern is being taken over by the white. Not so much on this side as on this side. So, but definitely a lot of pattern has started to be taken over on this side, so I definitely think he's going to be a blonde harlequin like his father. So he looks like this, very different looking from his sister, but he's still just as well behaved. So you can see how different siblings look, and also how different when it comes to grow rates. And let me kind of see if I can get him to hold still for a few seconds so I can get Indigo to sit next to him. I obviously would not suggest keeping them together when they are this size, and I mean, I don't think it'll hurt anything them sitting by each other as long as they're not interacting with each other. So you can see how much larger Indigo is to Whisper. Just looking at like the head size and everything, how much more, like she's not super duper developed more than him, but you can definitely see the size of the head is a lot different. See how his is a lot more narrow and small, and as where hers is a lot more broad like her mother's. And it's funny because both of their parents, actually, the mother and the father, both have very broad heads. Her tail is actually very long as well. You can see this is how long her tail is. Very long tail here. His might be about the same length, yeah. So, but yeah, these are the two youngest ones. Of course, she is a little bit heavier than he is, because last time I weighed him, I believe he was 12 grams, and I think that she's pretty much almost 16. So they are just different by a few grams. But yeah, so I want to show you guys. They are currently getting fed once every other day, and that's normally how much you would offer a baby that is either under a year old or is under 18 grams, because once they are over 18 grams or over a year old, I normally start to feed every 2 days instead of every other day. So currently you can see the difference in these guys. It's not always like this. Sometimes the siblings can look similar to each other, and sometimes they are looking very different from each other. And of course, in this case, there were two girls. I mean, there were a boy and a girl in the litter instead of having like two males or two females. So, which is nice, because in the first babies I ever had, both were boys. And then in the second batch, they were both females. So, this time I actually got a boy and a girl. And I think I've had 3 times now that I've got a male and a female, so it doesn't always happen that you get 2 females or 2 males, because in Snicker and Toffee's case, they're sisters, and they were both girls, and in Ash and Bramble's case, they were both boys. So, but I think all the other ones after that have been male and female pairs when it comes to, oh, you gotta take a potty? Really? Do it in here. So anyway, while Whisper is using the restroom, because he just peed on me, he's over there chilling on the side of his container. These containers are currently what they are staying in. As you can see, each one is labeled. Once they outgrow these containers, they're going to get the quite larger containers which we have here. This, of course, has Bramble in the very far left, Toffee is in the middle, and then Cappuccino is the tank on the very end. And, of course, they will be moved into a tank that has Eco Earth or the forest soil. Let's see. Let me look and see what it's called real quick. So the soil that I use is actually called plantation soil, and it pretty much is like Eco Earth, only it's finer, and people normally use it for frogs. And so that's what I like using, because it's a lot softer and it doesn't have as much cocoa fiber in it. It's just a lot more like soily, because with cocoa fiber that is the Eco Earth, it has a lot of that string from the coconut in it. So I like using the plantation soil because it's a little bit finer. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, Whisper. I about said Cappuccino, but go ahead and grab him. So when it comes to siblings, of course, you don't want to house them together once they reach about 3 months old. I personally don't house mine together at all, but just giving you an idea of about how long they can stay together before they have to be separated, just due to the fact they might start to fight or pick on each other, or in some cases one might nip the other's tail because it sees it as maybe prey. But otherwise, this is about the age that you want to start out with if it's your first crested gecko. Or if it's not 8 months, you want to start out with about like around 15 grams. Like with him, he's probably at 15 grams now, or close to it. She's probably obviously over. But this is about the size that you want to begin with. If you start with one any smaller, then the chances of survival are a lot less. But if you get one that's well established, like this little guy here, you can see he has a nice stomach. He has very nice, bright eyes. Well, there you go. You can kind of see his eyes a little bit there. He has a nice looking face. He's good and healthy. Nothing coming from the nose. All of his toes are good. And of course the tail is what a lot of people prefer, but if you had a frog butt, it's not going to affect their health at all. They obviously are still going to be just as healthy without a tail as they are with a tail, as you guys know, because you know I have Phoenix and she is my frog butt. You, of course, also, when you have a baby, if you're looking to purchase from either a breeder or from a pet store, which of course I don't suggest, but there are some good pet stores out there that are family-owned or that are small chain pet stores, and they're not real large, like Petco or PetSmart. But you always also want to check like their vent area, and I'll grab Whisper since Indigo's climbing up my arm, which is going to be underneath the tail, so just real gentle here. You can see I'm barely pushing on him. But they're used to me doing this, so in this vent area, you would always want to check to make sure that there's nothing crusty stuck to it or anything, because that means they might be having issues using the bathroom, or they might have like runny stool, which also could be issues or indications of worms even, possibly. You don't want to purchase a gecko that's malnourished looking, because of the fact that worms could be an issue. Also, there could be other health issues involved if they're thin. Aside from that, but worms is pretty common when it comes to like if you're getting from someone that houses a bunch together. So you kind of want to look into how are they being housed, ask for several pictures if you can. If you're buying from a reputable breeder like Pangea, then normally that's not going to be an issue. But if you're getting from a local breeder that you don't know much about, it's always good to do your research, like, you know, get on Facebook if they have that, or on their website, and kind of look around at their stuff, see how open they are with sharing information, and kind of go from there. And of course I can put a list in the description of things you should look for in a healthy crested gecko when you go to pick one out, that I would always personally suggest and what I do, because when I purchased Harmony, I looked her over quite a bit. I visited the table that I got her from at the reptile show about 4 times before I decided to purchase her. So I definitely came over there and was looking her over to make sure she was healthy. And of course with her, she has a weird kind of deformity, I guess you could say, with her tail, where it has like weird wonky stuff going on, but it looks more like a deformity she had from birth versus from not enough calcium, because the guy was feeding Pangea, which of course that can't always guarantee no problems, but that has the necessary vitamins in it and stuff, the minimum amount anyway. So when I got her with Harmony, of course, not these guys, once a week for the first 4 weeks, I added a little bit of calcium into her food. So just to kind of boost if there was any deficiency at all in there, and her tail is still looking like that. So I think it's more like something going on with the tissue versus something that was wrong with calcium-wise, because she doesn't look like she had any soft jaw or any like limbs getting soft or anything. So yeah. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it was just kind of random and all over the place, but I know that you guys enjoy seeing my little babies. And of course these guys, it's crazy that almost 8 months ago, in November of 2018, these little guys were born, and look how big they're getting. It's just insane that my youngest ones are almost an adult. Like, not technically, a young adult. They're almost a young adult. It's insane. Just a few more months, just 4 more months, and these guys will be an adult. It's like, where's the time gone? So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.